Hi, hello, namaskara. Welcome back to Co-Corner. Today we have with us the founders of the Nama Bangaluru Kite Flying Club. Yet another interesting episode of the sporting community. Let's hear from them the past, the current, and the future that kite flying holds in the Indian sporting scenario and the culture that it beholds in the country of India. Welcome all the members of the Kite Flying Club. Hi, hello, namaskara. Welcome to the Co-Corner. We're going to be having a conversation today in the Co-Corner about the Kite Flying Club and the founders. Welcome, Mr. Amik Dhar, Rakesh Saha, and Pratik Kundu. Thanks for your time. Thanks for coming all the way from there till here. So it's very surprising that we have only one kite flying club in Bangalore, which was started by all three of you gentlemen. So let's begin with the conversation about the kite flying and how it all originated. So if we have to talk about its origin, where did it start from, and then what do you want to say about its origin, sir?
First of all, thank you for having us here. Absolute pleasure. Uh, Kite flying has a rich history in the Indian tradition, and it started way back, probably during the 1500 or 1600, where it started in Lucknow, where the Nawab, they used to entertain their wife by going to the terrace and flying kites, because it is always a colorful activity. It gives a lot of entertainment, joyous moment. And since then it has spread all over India. Then if you see, consider the that time, it was India, in Lahore or probably in Karachi, then all the way to Bengal. Okay, and it has become a tradition, more of a joyous activity, a sport now, physical activity. This is how kite flying has become a very, very an emotional contact of the specifically the Indians, who try to go to the terrace in the evening with their colorful kites and threads, cotton threads specifically, and then they, when they fly kites, and they laugh by cutting other kites. So it looks wonderful when a blue sky is filled with colorful kites. It looks amazing, and it gives a lot of joy to your heart. And kites were used to communicate as well earlier. So if I have to propose a girl, I would write some "I love you" in my
Acha?
kite and put it on the. So that is how kite flying has been in India.
History of that, there is always a fighting between China and India where it started. So always it is like richer in India, because earlier kite was not a fighting moment, it is most of a communication moment. Just if I give you an example, like one battle is happening, there is two different opponents are waiting, the Ranis and those things, how they will know who is winning at that moment. So there used to be also two different colors kite gets fly, which is messaging from the outside, like which team is winning at that moment. So that can be also a message. Similarly, in Kolkata and all, like there are two teams who are playing football, East Bengal and Mohun Bagan. You might have heard those teams. So those are very good rivalry from a longer time, and we call it like local derby and all. So they are also like earlier, like who cannot go into the stadium, so they can fly that color jersey color kite, so they can see that who is winning at that time. So this is a very beautiful mode of communication kite. And then secondly, the Wajid Ali Shah is the person, the Nawab, who actually make this kite fly. And he started from Lucknow, he went to Hyderabad, he went to Kolkata. So he actually started the culture of this kite flying and fighting slowly. So that's how it became.
So this is the history of kite flying.
Yeah.
So if I have to ask all three of you, in short, if you can just tell me, when did you all get interested into this kite flying, and when did you all actually start it off?
Okay, so for me, like it is like my guru is my dad. So from the beginning only, I saw my dad started kite flying, and that time it was a different emotion. Today's kite flying is like there is two different ways of kite flying. One is like festival kite flying. The another one is the professional kite flying. So if I consider about the festival kite flying, so from my beginning, like that moment I got sense, I am seeing that there is a particular season in Kolkata where we call it Vishwakarma Puja. So at that time the kite festival happens. So there was a very nostalgic memory at that time. So that time we didn't get this ready-made manjas and all. So we used to get plain thread. Then we used to prepare manja, then we used to give the manja, then get it dried, and then we fly with that thread. So it was a whole lot of experience, and I used to wait, like when this season come and 2-3 days back to that festival, this will start and all. So if you ask me, by the time I got my sense, I am flying kite. But it's not professional, it's a festival kite.
Festival kite flying. Okay. Mr.
Now,
Rakesh?
for me, kite flying, it was, the credit should go to my mother. So when I was when I was in probably in lower nursery, every day I used to come from school. My mom used to hold my hand, take me to a kite shop, and used to buy me a cherky, okay, and 2 kites. And trust me, every day I used to break that cherky. So next day again she will take me to buy a kite, a new cherky and kites. So absolutely the credit goes to my mother. And I don't remember exactly, but yeah, this has been a part of my life. Probably when I was 1 year old, my dad used to fly kites, and it was totally different those days. Even on a normal day, used to see at least 15 to 20 kites flying from 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So that is how I got interested. And yeah, it's until I came here, Pratik Bhai has been my guru. Be very honest to you, he taught me professional kite fighting.
Acha.
I was absolutely had no idea what this professional kite fighting is. He was the one who taught me from day one, from the scratch. Now I understand what is a professional kite fighting and what is a festive fighting. So yeah, my mother, and obviously to Mr. Pratik Kundu as well. Yes.
Super. And you, Mr. Pratik?
So, yeah, I think it's very getting difficult for me to be grounded now, hearing those compliments. But then, yeah, Ellarigu namaskara and
That's so sweet of you.
sabko namaskar. And of course, to all the viewers and subscribers of this YouTube channel, may God bless you, because we have a lovely host here. And it's also our privilege as Namma Bangaluru Kite Club to be sitting here. Now we are not Namma Bangaluru, we are International Kite Club, but we started with Hamara Shahar Bangalore Kite Club, Namma Bangaluru Kite Club. But of course, the beginning was very humble, and it was like it was like with baby steps that I had started when I was actually a baby, literally. And I feel I'm still a baby at heart, because to be doing something like this, flying kites, playing cricket, age is just a number. As you see, we have all crossed, or we're almost touching 40 right now. Yeah, so I think we are more active than the current generation of kids. Having said that, when I was a baby, I was in very good books. I used to play in the lap of my granddad, who was a landlord back then. So back then we had the provision of open spaces. The houses used to be like mahals, havelis. So every evening they used to catch up. So back then I think we still had that human intervention somewhere.
Correct.
Which is very lacking today. I mean, we could have done this talk show even on Zoom or Google Meet. For that matter, we have got a lot of platforms. But this connect that we have
Absolutely.
of sitting here physically.
That exchange of energy itself is a different feeling, right?
Absolutely. And having said that, so that was exactly the scenario when I was a child. And I was born in Kolkata, the city of joy. And this is what added to the city of joy in the evenings, the joy part of the city, where my granddad used to do it. And I was so fascinated and intrigued by whatever he was doing. It was rocket science for me back then. I picked it up.
Super. So now coming to the culture point of view, actually, if one of you could actually explain what is that cultural significance this kite flying has in our lives, because each territory or a region has, I think, a specific culture attached to this kite flying, right? So if one of you could actually take that and then explain to us what is the cultural significance of kite flying.
So as much as we could have found, as much as we can do a bit of research on the internet nowadays, because we have information easily available to all of us, well, it's still controversial of exactly where it actually started. But then if we actually go to the roots of kite flying, it was actually China, as is normally debated. But back then it was not for the sake of fun. It was actually also for the sake of communicating, as they said, during war, right? In fact, as the saying goes, there was a fable, there's a story that says that there's this monarch or the king from this dynasty called Han Dynasty in China, and he flew a kite for the first time just to measure the distance between his place where the soldiers were all waiting to launch an attack and the wall that was there in front of them. So he flew a kite to measure the distance so that he could dig a tunnel to send his soldiers to fight again. So it was more of a guerrilla warfare. So that's when kite flying started. Then coming to India, we have got several seasons, and as you said, culture binds us as Indians. So if we start from the north, I think right when we flip the calendar for a new year, that's in January, we start with Makar Sankranti, the movement of the sun. That's when kites dot the skies of Jaipur, Delhi, and UP, Uttar Pradesh.
Here
Then
also.
and here as well, right? Now, if we come to down south, Hyderabad and Bengaluru, they have picked up. Because during Makar Sankranti, previously when I was in Hyderabad before Bengaluru, I used to see more kites, on the trees than leaves.
Acha.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's
I do
hyperbole.
remember when we were children actually playing kites, but it's hardly seen these days. Yes,
It's hardly seen. But then, while we are sitting here and we have actually touched the month of August, so it's a month of freedom, and free souls, they fly kites. So that's when, on the 15th of August, a lot of places like Delhi, Kolkata, and parts of Uttar Pradesh like Lucknow, Meerut, Moradabad, that's where people celebrate freedom by flying kites. That's how it has been since 1947. But then, yes, of course, since we have gone into technology, the lap of technology, so I think we are chained there. We don't see as many kites flying nowadays. But yes, if you ask me about the dates and the time, I think it all starts from January. Then you have it here in August. And there are some places where kites fly even in the winter season because it's a lovely time to fly kites.
So yeah, some places in Holi also they fly kite in terms of Uttar Pradesh, somewhere in Madhya Pradesh and all. So like that, like from January, then Holi is in March or something. Then the next season comes in August. Then September in Kolkata, Vishwakarma Puja. Then just after that, Diwali, some places where in Diwali they fly kites. So as this goes, right, the color of the kites also get changed.
Acha.
So if you think about that Holi, so there will be a lot of colorful kites you will see in that culture. Then when you come to 15th August, you will see a lot of our tricolor kites will be flying there. Then if it is coming to Diwali, then you will see a lot of diya
Diyas.
types. Because kite you can design anything. So that also signifies that which festival which culture is binds to. And then after that, I think Akshaya Tritiya also some places where it's so like that. If you see the entire calendar month, somewhere 25th December also they fly kites.
Acha.
So if you see across India throughout the year, some other culture is bind with kite and they fly. But the fact is that this is doing it in very small zone. So that's why, like, if you say that what are the maximum days kite gets flied in India, I think that will be either Makar Sankranti and 15th August.
Yes.
These are the 2 days where maximum get flight.
Okay. So, since all three of you come from this kite flying club and have taken kite flying also professionally, what are the techniques and the aerodynamics involved in kite flying? I mean, if one of you could explain.
So we have the kites. What we select, what we fly is basically a pony kites. Okay, that is a big kite. We have the kite starts with manjoli, which is a small kite. Then we have a addi kite, which is bigger than the manjoli. The one which we fly in Bangalore is always pony. The measurement of that kite, okay, that the round stick which we call it as kamani. Okay, so that measures 26.5 to 27 inches, and the thadda, the straight one, that measures 23 inch. Okay, so that is a measurement. Now when you go and participate in a tournament, they will measure your kite with a tape and they will put a stamp.
Acha.
And then you are allowed to fly that kites.
Okay.
And professional kite fighting means no designer kites.
Oh.
It should be a black kite or a deep blue kite. There should be minimum design in that kite. Okay, so what they say, when obviously a tournament is guided by a lot of rules and regulations. Okay,
yes.
so as I said, so the thread which is allowed to fly, that manja, the one which has a glass coating, it should be on a Vardhaman 1, 2, 3 thread. That is the name of the thread. Vardhaman is the name of the company. You must be knowing that. So that thread manja is allowed, and if they find any discrepancy in that, they will straight away reject the team and from the tournament. Okay, that is how strict they are. So this is the kite measure, and that what we do to ensure that we cannot pull by keeping that glass coated manja in hand. We use one thread which do not have a glass coating, that is called saddi. That is a simple thread. Once your manja goes in front, then 200 meters, 250 meters, 300 meters, that depends on your how much you want to put it in front. Then when you actually get into the tangles, there you have to use that uncoated thread.
Okay.
That is how it is. Okay. So basically the tournament happens for a pony kite. All India tournament is always happens with the pony kite, pona kites. There are bigger kites. We have a tawa kites, we have a kalidar kites, which is still bigger than this pony kites, but usually we don't fly those kites because it takes a more harder thread to control those kites.
Acha. What is the highest level or the height that you can attain, while flying a kite? I mean, is there anything like some yardstick or somebody, who has a record of, flying the highest level?
Back then, there were stories, a narrative used to go on like this, that till the time you have thread in your spindle, in your charki, you just keep going. Because we didn't have skyscrapers and tall buildings which would impede the way of your flying. Nowadays, it has all become like as short as 500 meters. That's where the tangle happens, and it's all power play nowadays. The more power you have, you can finish the opponent's game straight away. Previously, we have heard, my granddad used to tell me that they had so much time in the world, fursat, okay, that they just used to tangle the kite between each other, and it would keep going. And this is exactly how you, and you never know who's going to win it. So it all depends on the kind of rounds that you make with your kite. The more rounds that it make, the circles that it make, there's a better chance of cutting. It's like a turbine that cuts the other thread. So that's how it used to be. So they had so much time in the world that it used to go on, keep going, and it used to just vanish. They wouldn't be seeing the kite even. So, but somebody's thread would just droop and fall. That means his kite has got cut. It could go as far as 2,000 meters.
My God.
It is actually.
My God. Amazing. So when we're talking about this thread in a kite, what you so call it as manja, what are the kinds of threads that one uses, and what are the benefits or the hazards of using the other kind of threads? I know that there are variety of manjas that are available in the market. So what do you recommend, and then why?
Yeah, so there are different kinds of threads available in the market, but that thread means initially it has to be a cotton plain thread without anything, and manja is the masala where get coated on that. So first, if we talk about the quality of the thread, so there are some threads which is like you can break it very easily. Something is big mota, and then something is very much thin, so which cannot even fly upon a kite, which Rakesh was telling. So with that, all these measures, only 1 to 3 is the manja, which is like thread which is allowed in the professional. Why that is? Because it can maximum take 650 grams to 700 grams of weight. If you put even 1 gram of weight to that, it will tear. So why that is required to be tear? Because we are using the thread to fly a kite, not to cut anything else. So this is where like lot of problem and all these things happen. So if we keep flying with that 1 to 3 manja, there will be no hazard. Maximum it can scratch your skin. It's just like a nail scratch or something like that. It will heal automatically within a day, because it gets happens on our fingers also. It's nothing. Now if you just put it like that with 2 fingers, it will break. Now the problem is and this is the actual part of it, and if that is getting used, no problem. Now the problem part of it is like people doesn't look for their skills, because kite flying is 10% is manja, 20-30% of its kite, then the remaining percent about the person and the skill, what is required to cut a kite. It's not that if you have the best manja in the world and best kite in your hand, nobody can cut you. It's nothing like that. It's all about human skills. Now the fact is that now the different types of thread got invented or manufactured because so that people cannot cut your kite, which is completely a myth. It is not possible. If you get the highest, biggest thread is in the market and somebody is playing with the smallest thread, I mean 3-knot thread, they can cut you just like anything. So the problem is its mindset. People doesn't understand, and that's why they are going to this kind of manjas. And the most worst thing has come in last 10 years in India is the Chinese manja. So that is not at all a cotton thread. That is a chemical thread. It's not a manja actually. It's some people are calling it as a fishing thread or something like that. It doesn't break, it doesn't cut, and that is the manja which get hurts to the people, to the birds, and all different types of animals, and that is banned. That is banned for last, I don't know, maybe 5-6 years. It's completely banned. So if anybody is using it, anybody is selling it, they are supposed to be in jail. That's what it's supposed to be, but it doesn't happen, which is very means very unfortunate. It is still getting sold.
Hopefully,
but-
through this, even if it makes a difference to 1% or even 10% of the listeners and the audience, and then they are careful and cautious to be mindful of using the right thread, while flying the kite. I hope, we would have made at least that little difference to the society. Hopefully, it does.
And I'd just like to add to whatever you said or what Amik Bhai has said. International Kite Club, the first kite club that we started in Bengaluru. We have crusaded since the inception of this kite club in 2020. All the members who are not even here today, it's only the 30% of the show that we put up. On every Sundays, whenever we fly it, we've always crusaded against the usage of this Chinese manja. So International Kite Club, we can vouch for the fact that we do not use this Chinese or the manja that's manufactured in machines, which don't snap. People will resort to buying it because it's available online, the Chinese manja. So as professional kite flyers, we want to impart this message through your channel that please,
Yes.
to keep this sport alive and spot free, please don't use Chinese manja for kite flying.
Super.
And just to add one more thing, this Chinese manja, basically it is a nylon thread. We use it while fishing. Okay, now the problem is that if you're using that thread and if your kite gets stuck in a tree, you cannot pull it and break your thread. It will get
Elastic.
Keep hanging.
It will
It'll
keep,
keep hanging.
it will get enlarged actually.
Yes.
It is a dangerous conspiracy. So I
Yes,
would request
absolutely.
each and every Indian citizen who loves kite flying, please stop this using nylon thread, which we call is a Chinese manja. I would request the parents not to buy the nylon thread. When I was probably one or two, when my mom used to buy me kites and thread, there were days where I used to fly kites with a normal thread which my mom used to stitch clothes. But those days there were no this nylon manja, Chinese manja. Okay, I want to share one of my experience. Last time during Vishwakarma Puja, I was in Calcutta during September. I was playing, I was flying kites. So a kite comes and falls on my terrace. It was a beautiful big kite. I was very happy. But as soon as I saw the thread, that thread had what do you call steel coating in that nylon. I mean, in that plastic thread. That is called a plastic nylon or Chinese in that thread. And you won't believe, I tried to break it. It just took away my skin from here. And imagine if someone is riding a bike, there were cases which were reported where people died on spot because that thread got strangled to
Entangled.
neck and it just took off the head. If it is a request with folded hands to all the parents, to all the kite lovers. Please don't buy and to this online shops wherever this is available. Please do not sell this. This is, you're inviting death. And if you see, there are cases be reported in Delhi, Bengal, all over India. It is a very, very dangerous thing. Proudly, I can say with this club, we never support this. We will take all necessary action if we say, as I told you, that this is something which we are deadly against it. Because this is a conspiracy to kill people in India.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking this kind of a very serious initiative, which definitely can be a game changer also. If we have to really ask you about any of those unwritten rules or the etiquette that one has to follow while flying the kite, is there anything like that specifically that one needs to follow while flying a kite in public?
The preface to answering your question will be when I started kite vlogging, a lot of people had joined my network because it was something new that they had done before, but it was like a channel that was giving a platform for everybody to connect. But since I'm into fitness, I've always prophesized good health over anything else. Now, since it's a network, since we build relationships while kite flying, I'm seeing that the youngsters that are getting into it without knowing the kind of things that you were saying, the benchmark maybe, since we don't have anything written, but like sportsmanship is very important. Sportsmanship, I feel, is more important than the results of a game.
Correct.
Right? You finish flying kites, you come down, you have a nice conversation over a cup of tea, and that's the end of it. But don't take whatever has happened on the ground back home. And that is where people are falling flat. Relationships all falling apart just because people are like catching somebody else's collar just for the sake of one kite being cut in a disputed way. This is happening. So since we don't have any rules established, what I need to say is this game is beyond hatred. This is not hatred, okay? So, and another major reason why things like this are happening, and I get to know it because I'm a vlogger and I'm in touch with so many people in different parts of India. It's this addiction to tobacco. Now, if we don't do it while we are doing net practice in cricket or maybe for football, why would we be doing it in kite flying? That means you're not loving it. You're just doing it for the sake of doing something on a Sunday. So whoever is watching me, it's not only for kite flying, for all the tobacco consumption or for any sort of addiction that you have. This should be a leeway to come out of it, not to get into it. And when you do that in the ground, you're sending a very wrong message to the people, since we are like we saying we are people who are trying to reform it. We shouldn't make it dirty, right? Of course, this is your stress buster. Then why does the cigarette come in between your two fingers? So that should not happen. That is spoiling the game.
Yes.
So if you ask me about the prerequisites, no smoking on the ground, no abusing, no calling out names to people, no condescending remarks, I think this game will be very, very neat and clean then.
So, if you're talking about your club, when did you actually start off your club?
So, in the first week of August 2021, we met. I knew Pratik Bhai before that, but never spoken to him. He's a YouTube blogger, and then I was in Calcutta that time during COVID. Obviously, those days we used to work from home. So then when I came back to Bangalore, I had few kites at home. I always keep kites at home. I'm a cricketer. I keep one cricket bat and kites always at home. Because my father runs a cricket camp in Calcutta as well. So I represented Bengal as well in state level. So when I came to know from a source that Pratik Kundu is basically going back to Bangalore, and he has posted a video with a nice Indian flag that anyone is interested to fly kites, contact me. I didn't waste a single second. I contacted him. I was lucky he responded to me, and then it all started.
So it all started from my YouTube channel actually, Kites by Pratik. So I would also like to tell people about my channel, Kites by Pratik. In fact, I am one of the foremost YouTube vloggers on kite flying in the country. And that's how we joined hands, Rakesh and I. Amik Bhai joined us a little late.
I think the same story there, because in 2020 I was in Kolkata because everything is on COVID and all, and that time only game you can play is kite. So I was, and all the shops I know, everything is closed. So where I will buy kite from? So then I follow that somebody is doing, then I got to know that Pratikda has this. I didn't know Pratikda that time. Pratikda went to different
What
shops.
a beautiful way, na? I mean, to, relieve yourself of that stress during the COVID times.
Absolutely.
To just, be for yourself and be by yourself and then engage yourself in an activity that's going to actually reduce that kind of, stress.
And I'll add-
Seriously, when I just think and you visualize how it would have been, so beautiful.
I would also add one very good point about this kite flying thing. First thing is that when you are flying a kite, it's a very good stress buster for me. If I am having a very tough meeting or something at my office and this thing, if I get a 10 minutes or 15 minutes kite flying chance, it's kind of a completely mind fresh for me. Secondly, like your neck, shoulder, and all these things are utilizing when you are flying kite. Your eyes are also getting, like you are pointing out to the kite how much it goes. So it actually helping your eyes. It is helping your brain to fresh. It is helping your shoulder to not to be frozen, and it has that upper body exercise. If you see, it is giving you 100% of the upper body
Beautiful
exercise.
physical activity.
And with that, along with that, no, you don't need any partners or anybody. You can fly kite on your own, because all the other games you need people, right, to play with you. This is, you can individually fly kite. So nobody is disturbing you, and you are not disturbing to anybody if you are not using the Chinese
And in
mind.
fact, this is the reason, why I started this, to address people's mental health. which has become such a topic of discussion now in anywhere, in
Right.
schools, in institutions, in the corporate. And that's when the two of us started, and we had people from different walks of life to join us, from different communities, different age groups. But you know what, when they used to come and fly on Sundays, it's been almost 3 years now since the inception. It just feels like a gang of young kids, millennials, flying kites and just enjoying on a Sunday. We forget everything, all the social barriers, the communication barriers. So I think it's beyond just addressing health.
Correct. Correct.
So on a Sunday, we wake up in the morning, 7 a.m., off to kite flying.
Yeah, that's exactly.
So when you
how
say
it is.
that, what is the ideal condition, weather condition that one requires, to fly kite?
A blue sky and a wind speed of 14 to 17.
How do you measure that? You have some
We get it into
barometer?
Google. Everything is there. in
No,
the
we
phone.
follow an app called Windy that gives till now it has been giving us till now it has
Accurate,
AI, artificial intelligence, maybe very intelligent than us, but yeah, till now it has not ditched us. It has given us correct updates on the wind speed. 14 to 17, as Rakesh said, I think that's the ideal speed for flying kites. And Bengaluru normally has intense wind speeds, like wind gusts and storms, for which during this time of the time when we have monsoons, okay, like from August till October, it's not the ideal time to fly here. But then, as you said,
We
there
need
can
to fly.
there
We have
can
to fly.
nothing can actually hold back International Kite Cup Bengaluru. So we even fly now during the rain. It has so happened like that.
So when did this kite flying actually develop as a competitive sport? Has it found its place in the Indian competitive kite flying scenario? Matlab, has it found a place in the Khelo India kind of, sporting activity? Does it have its presence there yet, or long way to go, or
No.
not as yet?
I'll
not-
I'll take
not
up this
as
question.
yet.
So you know what, we have an association which is based in Lucknow, city of Nawab, city of kite flying, as Rakesh said, Wajid Ali Shah, as Amik Bhai said. That's where the Nawab had started. So it's in their roots. They're very privileged to call themselves the people who know how to fly kites since the time they're not even born.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that's what they claim to be. Hilarious. So every small kid who's born in and around Lucknow, the first thing that they do is to take up a kite and spindle. That's how the culture has been seeped into generations. That's where our association also lies. It's headed by Ustad Aga, Nawab Aga, who happens to be a lawyer. But he hasn't married because he would not be able to give time to a family, because he flies kites and he's 67 years old right now. So he's the youngest kite flyer alive in India. If Ustad is watching, Salam Alaikum, I would definitely say that. So he heads the Kite Flying Association, which is based in Lucknow. Now, every different city has got their own association. So that is where the problem lies. Although we have got rules to govern this sport, but then there's a lot of difference between these communities or these associations in different places. So talking about this being a national game, yes, we did submit a proposal to the Sports Minister of India. That was few years ago. But not everybody would take up kite flying. So it's like not everybody can just buy a cricket bat because it's easily available in any of the shops and play cricket, right? So even in Bengaluru, I mean, people normally fly in festivals, but then for us to start it, to spread the awareness, it did take time. So we don't have kite clubs everywhere in India, in all the cities. That's the reason, there's a bit of disparity when it comes to bringing them all under one umbrella. So it may not become a national game, but yes, if you talk about the All India tournament, that's held in Lucknow most of the times, because Ustad Aga, he's very well connected with the kite flyers and they have got spaces to fly kites. So the association does a lot. So that's where this tournament happens for 1 month, starting from April and May, and 128 teams from across the country go there, stay there, participate until the tournament is over. That's the only tournament that we have, but we cannot
how long does it happen?
It happens for a month.
Oh,
Yeah.
And food and accommodation,
Accommodation is
by
provided
the
to all the
association.
players. So if we are traveling, so from so far as Bangalore, then we would have to stay there for 1 month, which again is a very difficult thing for us because we have families here and our occupations here. That's the reason, thinking of this as a national game with a lot of commitment and time that you can spend, that gets a little difficult. That's the reason this has not become a national game yet.
But if you want to know the number of teams we have, like register, unregister, or local teams,
In all these associations.
in all the association across India, the number is huge.
Acha, what
It's-
is the number?
I don't know.
I
but
don't
it's
think we'll be able to count
almost
it.
like 10,000 teams
Yes.
are there.
Absolutely.
Goodness.
But as you said, no particular brand name under which we can all put them in. That's the thing. There have been clubs, some of them
No,
are
why I
registered.
was
Some of,
asking you is because I think recently under the able guidance of and leadership of Narendra Modi ji, Kalaripayattu has also been included in this Khelo India.
Yes.
So with, of course, all those procedures and the rules that they need to follow to be eligible to participate in that kind of a national sporting scenario. So which is why I was asking, probably, this will also have a
It
place.
might, Rajni. But the thing is, as Amik Bhai said, that people fly here only during the festivals. So nobody could think of it because it's a huge time investment and commitment. So people wouldn't be thinking of this, as a sport that they would do professionally. It's only for the fun of doing
Probably,
it.
it will pick up.
It
I'm
will pick
sure
up,
in
of
Yes,
course.
future it will.
It will pick up, and especially with people who are aware, educated, okay, who can change the nation, who can bring in a revolution. I think those kind of people are needed, like how we are all an educated task force here. It's needed to create an awareness. Otherwise, the kind of people who are into this sport, well, it's very difficult to mention about them. They are mostly the people who would get into putting what do you say, stakes on a kite. That would involve betting and taking this game to a different level. Since we don't have rules to govern this sport in an entire national level, that's the reason different sorts of people get into the game with a different agenda, and that's it. That is where the confusion and the problem
In
lies.
addition to
Let's
that,
stay positive. I'm sure,
Of
it
course,
will pick
yes.
up and then.
Yes.
we are positive. We are doing a lot of things. Like every Vishwakarma Puja, if I go, I just try to give the kites to some people, because the problem is that if you see the kite culture and throughout across the India, the you can see the like Aga Ustad, like the smallest baby of kite flying. But young age generation, they are not getting this culture, because the thing is, I don't know, that day is not very far where you will see a virtual reality goggles on your thing and you will feel like you are flying kites. Today in mobile already started. So the problem is with this technology, artificial intelligence and all these things, the person to person connection, the face to face games, these are going down. So we are trying to promote as much as possible within our capacity. Pratik does a lot of things. I think last 2-3 years when he was in Kolkata, he tried maximum to make this. We also came to know that, okay, I knew only 5-6 kite shop in Kolkata. After Pratik went to that Making Bengal, he was having one initiative and all. I got to know these many kite shop. I didn't know. I passed through that road every day, but I don't know there is a kite shop inside that. So this kind of thing across, not only Pratik, there are so many people
There are so
who
many
are
people
trying
who are
to
vlogging.
promote these, because this is a very good game and we want this to alive. Because of some problem in the manjas and all where people are not using it properly, then other some betting and all, these are actually depressing this is not like
These are the challenges you're
these are the
seeing.
challenges. There's big challenge first of all. And then the another challenge is that earlier it was so inexpensive. Nowadays it got expensive.
Very expensive. Yes.
Now if you want to buy a thread which is comes in 12,000 yards in a charka, that cost around 2,000-3,000 rupees today, and that you are flying, it will cut, you will lose the money. So now that thing also coming into people's mind, that it is becoming an expensive game now, which is really means like, if you give it to a kid, you will not give that 2-3,000 just to fly kites and it will go. If you comparely thinking that I will give a 2,000 rupees bat, that guy can play for 5 years.
That's of course.
That is
the
also a
mentality that is
mentality
seeped in as
it's
well.
coming.
Yes.
But we are trying. We are hopeful that we will do.
We are hopeful. And adding to what Amik Bhai said, I don't see, when we were young, I mean, when we were in 3rd, 4th or 5th standard, we used to go out in the evening and play football, cricket. When it was a kite flying season, kite flying was the only option. My father broke at least 10 or 20 charkis of mine, because my dad is very strict and he is the one who taught me how to fly kites. So, I want kids to go out and play. Okay, and they should go out and they should breathe
Correct.
the air outside, and they play. And there are so many buildings around. There is no space to play nowadays.
Right.
Okay, from now that where the place where we go and fly kites, probably after a year there'll be a apartment which is going to be built
yes,
there.
Yes, of course.
So I want kids to go out. I want parents to go out. See, Saturday, Sunday, I'm free. I'll take my daughter out. I'll make my daughter to play badminton. But where? Again, inside an indoor a stadium where I have to enroll my daughter, go and play. But I don't want her to be like that. I want her to go and play outside. Physical activity, outdoor activity. If you still ask me today, I would still today I don't prefer going to gym. Instead, you go out and run 10 kilometers. That is more effective than going into the gym and running on a treadmill by your temperature is
That's
16
precisely
degrees.
the reason why there is an increase in vitamin D deficiency for many people.
Exactly.
And
today.
kite flying is one of the game where you will not get deficiency of vitamin D. You are getting direct sun.
Direct sun, yes.
Exactly. I mean, we as a club, we are a very very ambitious group. I mean, a bunch of guys, and we have high ambitions, and we are doing good as of now. I mean, yeah, we don't have exposure what a kite flying club has in Lucknow or in
Yeah, of
Kolkata,
It will
but
come.
we are doing the right things, and I'm very hopeful that we are going towards the right direction to achieve those goals.
We have hit a lot of milestones because we are the first club to have represented Bengaluru in the All India level kite tournament. So with the time that we have, the effort that we can put in, I think it's a big thing. I mean, we just get to practice only on a Sunday, but yeah, we have represented Bangalore in a All India level
Yes, we
tournament.
did, man.
So
We
that's
did.
that's a lovely
We are
thing.
planning
And we
to
are
go
very
next
proud of
year.
it.
Yes, absolutely.
We are planning to go next year as well in Lucknow to participate in that. And hopefully we will win. We are not going there so far to lose. We will win that. At least we'll win 1 or 2 rounds.
Yay.
So, if we are talking about so much about the kite flying, would you like to share a story of anybody who has been a legendary kite maker, who we would like to also know about?
So we have a very, very famous, renowned kite maker in Lucknow, Ustad Ali Nawab. Okay, a very humble person. We have met him when we went to play All India in 2022. So he's a 95-year-old kite maker.
Oh my God!
And he has made kites for Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru
Yes.
and his deputy Huzur Khan. I mean, it was such a privilege to sit next to him and heard what he said. Shared his experience. Tremendous. No one can match that. Okay, so we were
Acha,
privileged to
did
get
he
kites.
actually tell you at what age did he start making a kite?
Yes. So he started making kites at the age of 12.
12 years, yeah.
And where Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru called him one day to his mansion and told him, "You're not going home for 2 days. You're going to make kites for me."
My God.
And that is how you can. This is available in YouTube. You can hear what he says. I mean, but he's still making kites. He's 95-year-old, and making a kite is not an easy trait. This is a pony kite which we fly in Bangalore. Now, this is a kite which we have got it from Lucknow. Now, when we make a kite, so they have to cut this border. So they have a piece of paper where they will cut boundaries
It's
through
a
that
template
yes.
on which they
So
put the paper and
they will
cut
cut. They'll cut this one. Then the main part of this kite is to put this round one. It is not like that. They will put this stick. Just it comes as it is. Okay. So this one, this round one, this is called kamani. The length from here till here is 26.5 to 27.
Inches.
That is an inches. So this round part is the most difficult part to put in a kite because the person who makes this kite, with the help of a blade, he will make it proper. He has to, what you can call, you have to fine tune it.
Fine-tune.
Okay. So once he is done with this, accordingly he will put, this is called a thadda. The measurement is 23 inch.
Right. 23.
Once this is done, then comes the most difficult part. Can you see over here? This portion is the paper is wrapped with a thread inside. So just this borders from here till here. That is the most difficult part that is being done. And I would like to share, there are women in Lucknow who does this. So we call it in Hindi as Dori Patta.
Dori patta. So it's women empowerment in a way.
Exactly.
That the women folks, they support their husbands in getting that done. Because it's a very fine thing, and I think women have a lot of patience. So
Imagine they do 100, 200 kites in a day. There is so much of demand in UP or all over India. I mean, this is a professional kite. This kite, definitely you can fly this kite at any point of the time, and we want to fly it on a festival. But usually we fly this kite from the ground. This is a pony kite, and see how we do the taping. So we have to do a taping like this so
It's
that
not that the kite is torn.
No.
We do it as a precaution so that when it
Yes.
hits the skies, it doesn't tear there.
exactly.
Because the winds are like very gusty here. So
Exactly. So this is just to ensure. See, we have to put a lot of effort in flying kites. So it is not an easy piece of a cake or where you can just take and start flying kite.
Yeah.
So when we put that kanna, the triangle with the thread, that is also done by taking. The normal way of tangling it. We put one hole here, that is a cross one. Then we will measure it like this from here. Then we'll put two hole here. Then we have to put the thread inside. Once the triangle comes, according to the wind and according to says that the weather, we will make it proper. Whether we need the kite to be a little heavy,
Oh.
that is how. There's a lot of science in it.
There is so much of science in
Yes,
it. Yes,
exactly. There's a lot of science in it. So the guy who makes kite, this is the main part. This is how when I buy a kite, I have to. The first thing I do, I have to do like
this is
this.
how you check it.
I see
to see if
guys
it's
who are flying
flexible.
kites from ages, they will get the satisfaction by doing this.
Yes.
And
If I don't get satisfaction, I'll check another kite.
Thundered
That is how it.
just to check the agility.
So the aerodynamics you were talking about, right? So this is how Rakesh was folding. So this has to be same in both the sides.
Symmetry.
So then if it is same, then only it will fly properly. It will not go. When we fly kite, the thing is like you have to control the kite from 500 or 1000 meter back. So kite is flying 500 to 1000 meter up in the sky and you are controlling it from your two fingers. So it has to be listen to you when it is at that way. So all these techniques and this measurement are required to go.
And since the name of the legendary Ustad Ali Nawab has already come in our forum, so Rakesh told about people having a template, right? Which we can also do in schools. In an art and craft class, we can give papers to kids. They would prefer having a cardboard and then place the paper on it and just cut it to make a kite. Ali Nawab doesn't have a template.
How?
He just takes scissors, does it, that's its template.
Imagine he's 95 years
95 years old, and it had so happened that when I went there for vlogging, getting to know that there's a man alive who's legendary, I went in a bike with one of my friends who took me there to the masjid where he stays. Now there were people, there was a bike which was following me, and I did see that in the front mirror of the bike that I was doing the pillion riding on, because he had given me 2 kites as gifts. That was the thing that I got for all the traveling from Bangaluru to Lucknow, and that was the gift that I got, 2 kites that was made by him. And one of those kites that he had given me, that was 35 years old, so I still have it.
Oh my
So it's like a
God.
time lap. It's like an era come to an end. Now when I was traveling, I saw 2 people, 2 young guys following our bike in their bike. So when I saw that, I made my friend stop the bike, and I asked them, I've been seeing this for a long time that you guys have been following. What do you want? So they told me, we want what you have in your bag. So they wanted the 35 years old kite. I said, big deal, it's just a piece of paper, it's going to wither away. 35 years already, why do you want it? They said, no talking. We are ready to pay you 15,000 rupees right now for this kite if you give it to us. I just asked them why. Rakesh has already told you, he's the man who used to make kites for the first Prime Minister of India. For people who are into Hindi cinema, those golden days of Amitabh Bachchan, we also had Dilip Kumar.
Yes.
Ustad Ali Nawab used to make kites for Dilip Kumar Saab as well.
My God.
And with Dilip Kumar, how can we just forget Saira Bano? I think that is what made Bollywood so beautiful back then. So this is one interesting episode that we wanted to share through your channel with everybody who's may have flown kites somewhere, sometime. Yeah, so this is the symmetry.
But the stories associated with it are really, so overwhelming.
Overwhelming, absolutely.
Absolutely.
But we had to explore a lot of those difficult places to take the stories out.
Fantastic, fantastic. Kudos to your efforts, Kundu.
Thank you.
So where do you see the future of kite flying?
Kite will keep flying.
Good one.
That's so nice.
Kite will always keep flying.
Just keeping the best for the last.
No matter if I fly or if Amik Dhar flies, there will be another, probably a 5-year-old kid in Bangalore who would fly kites. So whenever being an enthusiast, no matter where I travel, if I look at sky, if I see a bird, first thought comes in my mind, is it a kite?
Ah.
So there is no boundary. This is definitely a sport. It has a big future in India, but yeah, I mean, we should have space to fly kites. I would request all the Bangaloreans, especially during Makar Sankranti, once you're done with your puja, once we are done with our puja and all, please go to terrace, take kites, take manja, cotton manja, no plastic manja, no nylon manja, fly kites. Do it from 10 a.m. till evening. We have a lot of locality over here where people, can easily go into go to the terrace and show your kids what you did, what you used to do when you were a kid.
What kite flying is,
Exact-
first of all, it should begin with that.
Exactly.
In fact, with the urge that he has infused, okay, in all the minds of the viewers, whoever is watching us, International Kite Club Bengaluru. So on the weekends, if there is any corporate wishing us to do a show for them or an exhibition or maybe do a small episode with them where they can just go to the terraces of their buildings to fly kites, we are game to it. Plus, if there is any educational institute where students want to understand, because I think when I was teaching in a CBSE school in Bangalore, so they have it in their syllabus in Hindi. There's a chapter for grade 5 children, Patang. So in fact, when I was a teacher, I took the kite inside, and rest, whatever happened, that was actually in a newspaper. So that's the Times of India newspaper that we had, where a teacher has entered into the class with the real patang or the gali
For
pata.
living in Bangalore for these many years, do you know what do you call a kite in Kannada?
Gali pata. Oh yes.
Done.
Gali means wind, pata means kite.
Worthy that you know that we did this podcast.
So in this
So-
way, we wanted to tell that the future, we are going to create a future
Super.
through your YouTube channel. Anybody interested, just let us know. We are just maybe a text away.
Coming to the end of this session, for all those kite flying enthusiasts, children, elderly, there's a club now that we know of. How would you want them to come and join your club? What should they do to be a part of your club?
Yeah. So we are a professional club. Those who are interested, everyone is welcome to our club. We never said no to anyone from day one. We
There's
never
nothing
said no.
like, one has to be a professional only
No,
to get
that is
into
why.
your club?
Yes. So there are guys who are not professional, but they want to learn.
Yes.
They can come. We fly on every Sunday from Huskur, and we have one ground in Kanakpura Road. Beautiful setting. Come see us how we fly. Then if you can get in, being among us, one among us.
Yeah.
And you can come. Definitely, we are not like that. If you have come, you are going to stand alone and see. No, we will make you learn. We will make you to fly kites, because unless you touch the thread, you feel it, you will not learn. So you all are welcome. Please come and see us. Support us. If anybody knows this professional kite fighting, most welcome. Please come and join us. See, definitely help us with your inputs. We are open to learn. Okay, we are here. We are here to be. We are proudly representing Bangalore, Karnataka, because that is where we earn our bread. So everyone is welcome. Please come. If you want to get in touch with us through Instagram,
Yeah.
okay, you can. Pratik Kundu's page. You
Kites
can
by
contact
Pratik. Kites by Pratik is my Instagram handle.
Yes.
So that's where you can get in touch. And at the same time, as he said, so basically you don't need to be a professional to join our club. But if you're willing to learn the tricks of the trade, then we are all game for it. In fact, this club that we have created, there are many people who came as novice, amateurs, but they are expert kite flyers nowadays.
Super.
Yeah.
Yeah, so International Bangalore is not an academy, but we have teachers.
Yeah. Yeah, we do have gurus, right? Yeah.
Sure. Thank
So
you.
one last thing, kite is a very, very integral part of my life. I have kites in my workspace as well, where I keep my laptop, and just behind my laptop I have kept one kite. So I take my guys. I have a wonderful team whom I head in my company, and my boss who is from Calcutta, but he comes from a place where they make kites.
Yeah.
Bhatia Bruce, okay, which is a very famous place in Calcutta, where we used to. It was our dream when we were child that we will get kites from Bhatia Bruce. So my team, I take those guys we have a lovely terrace. So on every 14th or during Sankranti, which was Friday, I ensure that I have a 2 hours kite flying session with my group.
He does it with his colleagues.
Super.
Yes, I do that. Okay, so I take all the kites and check whatever threads I have at home, and we are game then. And and they love it. They love it.
Awesome.
And one of my biggest support is my wife as well, and my daughter. See, whenever I go and tell her I need to buy a manja, she'll look like this. Then she says, "Yeah, go ahead." And she bought me a lot of manjas. I mean, I share with Pratik and Amik bhai, but that's a big support.
Beautiful.
Our families have been very supportive of this.
Beautiful.
I mean, once in a year we meet each other and we do a get together.
Yeah.
So last time it was Pratik bhai and Shruti who invited us during the Shera. So that day it was India-Pakistan match.
Yes.
So me and my family and Amik bhai and his family went. We had a lovely time and delicious Bengali fish. Okay.
And more than anything, Rajani, the reason that we set up club, one is mental health. The other thing is you build a very nice network here.
Yes.
A non-judgmental network where you can be yourselves
Correct.
without being judged. And the gratification that you get, even if you get to cut one kite, even by fluke, you feel on top of the world actually. You feel like a kite yourself.
Yes, I would request you to come once to the ground
Yes.
whenever you have time.
Sure,
It would be
definitely.
a pleasure.
You
We had a
have
lady-
spoken so well about this whole activity that I'm actually, visualizing myself to attempt something like this for this Shankranti, hopefully with my family and friends also.
Please.
So thanks for, I honestly didn't have an idea that it's going to be such a big and an interesting topic to discuss about, I was thinking, what do I talk kite flying? But then, it has so many layers of, understanding, what it is, the history behind it, the future of it, and the techniques, and what all benefits it gets, you get out of it. So thank you so much, gentlemen, for being here and
Absolute pleasure, ma'am.
giving awareness about the whole thing to everybody. Thank you
Thank
so
much.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.